Okay, we're going to continue graphing sine and cosine functions. We're just going to make them a little bit more complicated. FYI, the homecoming carnival is going on right now while I'm recording, so if you hear some subtle music in the background, it's the band from the carnival, so my apologies. So this first example, y equals cosine of 1/3 x minus 2. So b is 1/3. The amplitude's still 1. We haven't shifted it to the right or to the left, but we are going to shift it down 2. So when we go set up our coordinate grid, actually I'm going to erase my x-axis and redraw it because I'm shifting it down 2, so I'm going to leave sufficient space to graph. So I'm going to shift it down 2. So the min is going to be at -3, the middle is at -2, and the top is at -1. And there goes the music. You might hear it. It's nice and loud. So hopefully it's not too distracting. All right. Then,
bye, Miss Frisco.
Bye. Okay, someone just interrupted my video. This is a disaster. Okay, hopefully we'll laugh about this. So the period is going to be 2 pi over b, so 2 pi over 1/3, which would be 2 pi times 3. Because when you divide by a fraction, you can flip it and multiply, making our period 6 pi. So we're going to split that period into 4 pieces. So I'm going to divide 6 pi by 4, which would be 3 pi over 2. So each of my sections is going to be 3 pi over 2. So I'm going to start with 3 pi over 2. Then it would be 6 pi over 2, which would be 3 pi. Then, so 3, 6, then 9 pi over 2. And then 12 pi over 2, which would be 6 pi. So that's one period, 6 pi. Then we're going to do another period. So 9 pi over 2, 12 pi over 2, 15 pi over 2, then 18 pi over 2, which is 9 pi. Then 21 pi over 2. And then this in the way. And then 24 pi over 2, which is 12 pi. Alright, and we're graphing cosine, so we're going to start at the top, and then go to the middle, and then go down, and then go to the middle, and go up, and the middle, and down, and the middle, and up. And just connect them. And there you go. Alright, our next example is y equals 2 sine 1/2 times x minus 4. So our amplitude is 2. B is 1/2, so our period is 2 pi over 1/2, which is 2 pi times 2, which is 4 pi. Meaning our pieces are each going to be 4 pi divided by 4, which is pi. So each piece will be pi. We're going to shift it to the right, to the right, pi over 4. And we're not shifting it up or down at all. So amplitude is 2. So our max is 2. Our middle is 0, and our bottom is, or our min is -2. Okay, so we are going to shift this to the right, pi over 4. So we're going to start with pi over 4. And we're going to add pi to get our, for our pieces, to complete one period. So if I add pi to pi over 4, that's the same thing as 4 pi over 4. Pi plus 4 pi over 4 is 5 pi over 4. 5 pi over 4 plus 4 pi over 4 is 9 pi over 4. 9 pi over 4 plus 4 pi over 4 is 13 pi over 4. And 13 pi over 4 plus 4 pi over 4 is 17 pi over 4. So that is 1 period. Let's go back toward the left. So you're going to subtract 4 pi over 4. So minus 3 pi over 4. Then minus 7 pi over 4. Then minus 11 pi over 4. And then finally minus 15 pi over 4. So I'm going to start at pi over 4, which is going to be at 0. And my leading coefficient is positive, so I'm going to go up, then down, then back up, and then down, back to the middle, up, and back. Our next one is y equals negative 3 cosine 2 times x plus pi over 5 plus 1. So amplitude is 3, b is 2, so our period is pi, so our pieces are pi over 4, but we're shifting it to the left, pi over 5, and up 1. So when we set up, oh, that line is awful. Oh, let's get fancy for a second. Let me draw a line. Beautiful. I'm going to draw another line. Oh, whoops, that didn't work. I was trying to be swanky and it didn't turn out well. Oh well, I gave up. All right, so I'm going to shift it to the left, pi over 5. And you're at negative pi over 5. And my pieces are pi over 4. So I'm going to add pi over 4 to complete my period. So negative pi over 5 plus pi over 4. Well, those have to have a common denominator, which would be 20. So this would be negative 4 pi plus 5 pi would give you positive pi over 20. This is just scratch work. Then you're going to add pi over 4 to pi over 20, so that's pi over 20 plus 5 pi over 20, which is 6 pi over 20, which reduces to 3 pi over 10. So that was 6 pi over 20 before we reduced it, plus 5 pi over 20 would give you 11 pi over 20. And then to get the last one, you're just going to add 5 pi over 20, which is 16 pi over 20, which reduces to 4 pi over 5. And just for the sake of time, like you can subtract pi over 4 to complete your quadrants. So I'm just going to skip that just for the sake of time. Okay, our amplitude is 3, but we shifted it up 1, so the max is 4, the min is negative 2, and the middle is 1. So we're going to start at negative pi over 5, and this is cosine, but it's negative. Our leading coefficient is negative. So we're going to make a frown. We're going to start at the bottom, then middle, then top, middle, then bottom. There you go. Last one. Y equals negative sine of 4x plus 2 pi plus 2. So this one's special because usually our b is right here, but we don't have b right there. So what we're going to have to do is factor something out of both of these terms, which we're going to factor 4 out. We factor 4 out, so that would give us x plus, when you divide 2 by 4, that's 1/2. This would be pi over 2 plus 2. So you're going to factor 4 out of both of these terms. When we factor 4 out of 2, you get 1/2. So amplitude is 1, b is 4, so that makes my period 2 pi over 4, which is pi over 2. So then your pieces, you take your period and divide it by 4, which is the same thing as multiplying by 1/4, so each piece is pi over 8. You're going to shift it to the left, pi over 2. And shift it up 2. So we're going to shift it up 2. Instead of going from 1 to -1, you're going to be at 3 to 1. Alright, then we're shifting it to the left, pi over 2. So I'm going to put this right here at negative pi over 2. I'm going to add pi over 8 to each piece. So what I'm going to have to do is leave this as negative 4 pi over 8 plus pi over 8, because I'm going to the right pi over 8. Each piece is pi over 8, so this will be at negative 3 pi over 8. Then I get negative 2 pi over 8, which is negative pi over 4. And then one more will put you at negative pi over 8. And then at 0, so that's one period. And then we do pi over 8, then 2 pi over 8, which is pi over 4, then 3 pi over 8, and then 4 pi over 8, which is pi over 2. So it's negative sign, so you're going to start in the middle. Start in the middle, and then go down, since it's negative sign. So you can go down, and up to the top, then to the middle, then down, then up to the top, then middle.